Hello guys, it's Realtorzee here, the #1 real estate investment strategist in Lagos, Nigeria. So today we're here to have a conversation on something really important, right? If you guys can see that, I was you today because this is a vernacular. This matter no easy. Anyways, so I'll give you guys a backdrop of what happened and then, the responses here and there, and I'll give you guys my 2 cents on what I think concerning this matter and how I think you should also view it because it's really important. So before we move on, this video is brought to you by Zee Realty Limited, a real estate investment company in Nigeria aimed at helping Gen Zs invest in real estate easier, smarter, and safer, right? So in case you have not heard, let me give you guys a backdrop story of what happened. So Daddy Freeze, as usual, OAP, came out and shot some bullets. And the summary of those bullets is that it's not exactly a very wise thing for Nigerians in diaspora to invest in real estate. And I mean, normally he'll shoot his bullets, sometimes the bullets will come back to him, sometimes he'll go free. But this time, he did not go free. Because our very own, very dark man, I think he's now very dark black, I don't even know, came up and gave it back to him, right? And he has come up with a response. So I'll take about 1 minute, a cut excerpt from all of them and show you. So here is Daddy Freeze.
Property for Nigeria no be asset to one day. Buy what from my livelihood?
And now here is very dark man firing him back.
Daddy Freeze, this is what you have reduced yourself into because of money. I cannot understand how you open your mouth because of how much they paid you to advertise a watch.
And Daddy Freeze now gave him his own response here.
VDN. Try the day factual. Because if you're not factual, you're actually liable to being sued. You said I was paid for promotion or advert. How did you put it? I bought my watch cash down.
Okay, so we'll see if we can put those links in the description if you want to see the full thing. So moving on, it's important that we have conversations like this because when things like this brew up, what it tends to do is that many people are not exactly very disciplined and diligent to look into the nitty-gritties to find exactly, the details of everything, right? And especially if you're a Nigerian diaspora, you can begin to not want to invest in Nigeria because of, these pieces of information flying here and there. So one of the questions we want to ask ourselves is, or let me backtrack and say, the volume of money that comes into Nigeria is high, right? From the diaspora, right? And there's research that came out lately showing that real estate had the highest. This means there's something that is happening. There's something that these guys know, which is making them throw their money back into Nigeria. However, one not so intelligent thing to do is to assume that everybody who sends money back to invest in real estate in Nigeria is doing that solely, right, because they want to make a profit, right? That's something we can generalize and get wrong in. So let me start by saying we have the data showing us the volume of investments coming back, but we don't have the data showing us the reason why these people are investing. So, from my years of expertise and practice in the real estate industry, I decided to show out something and let's reason it together. And there are 4 reasons that I personally know that account for why Nigerians in diaspora invest in, or let me not use the word invest, right? I'll use the word participate financially in the real estate in Nigeria. And the first one is to make a statement. Yes, I said it, to make a statement. I mean, just imagine I was a young boy, I was hustling, nobody believed in me, or my parents didn't agree, they wanted me to do so, and I eventually went abroad. Are you with me? Now, plus and minus, everything just became okay for me. I went abroad. When I went abroad, I got 2 jobs or 3 jobs, or I got a great job, and I started earning maybe thousands of pounds, thousands of euros, thousands of dollars. All those people that did not believe in me, how would they know I've made it? How do they know I've blown? So I have to send money to the house. They will build a big house for me. Are you with me? They will now use my story. You know how they used to advise small children? They say, be like Brother James. Jokingly, seriously, it's actually one of the reasons why people actually build houses in Nigeria. to make a statement. It's just the same way people can buy a Rolls Royce. It's not necessarily to drive. It's to make a statement in Nigeria. So they want to make a statement that, listen, me, the boy, who you don't believe in, are beginning to make it in life. So we want to tension all our pressure. So that's actually one of the reasons why people build a house. And the truth is that what people decide to do with their money is actually not your business. You cannot insult people for making the decisions that they want to make with their money. They worked for it. And if that's how they feel they can internally satisfy themselves for their years of suffering and labor, then so be it. They actually have the right to do so, right? So that's number one. They want to satisfy their ego. They want to make a statement that your haters must hear it. Number two, which I think is a more serious issue, is what I term risk mitigation, right? Which is simply saying these people are in a land that is not their fatherland. They are in places where, even if they are citizens, there can be a level of uncertainty, slight, right? If you talk to anybody who has gone abroad, they'll tell you, right? That can signal that, if anything should happen here, I'll carry my bag, run to my father's house, run back to my fatherland, and I have a house waiting for me there. So it's a risk mitigation strategy that, let me have some fruits of my labor here in, whatever country I am. Let me also have some of my fruits of labor in my fatherland. Bad as it bad, if anything should happen, I will run, and at least to start with, I have a house. So it's a risk mitigation strategy that many of us have seen. And many a times, like I said, nobody can predict uncertainties. We had a terrible instance years ago where xenophobia was happening in South Africa, and suddenly, from nowhere, out of the blues, they began to harm Nigerians. Now imagine you are in Nigeria and you have gone abroad. Within few hours, your house is burnt down, your shop is burnt down, and you are reduced to zero. So it's a risk mitigation strategy. We have seen many people like that, right? Who think it's a measure of safety, it's a measure of smart thinking to put some of their money here in Nigeria, right? So those kind of people are not necessarily profit oriented. They are safety oriented. The third reason, which I think is most important, which is why many people begin to get things wrong, is I think one of the most important reasons why people invest in Nigeria is for the old years. We have a very strong culture here in Nigeria, right? Regardless of the culture you're in, the cultural presence in the average Nigerian is really, really strong. And that's why you see somebody will die in the US, and sometimes they'll pay millions to ship the dead body back, not to come and bury him anywhere. He must be buried in his hometown, because the sense of culture is strong. The question you want to ask yourself is, if it's a dead body, if it's ground, they have graveyards in the US, they have graveyards in the UK, they have graveyards in Canada. But that sense of culture, they will spend millions and literally import a body that is lifeless because the culture is strong. Are you with me? No matter how long the person goes, there is a high chance, most of the times, that once they begin to tend towards old age, they want to come back to the country, right? When they have told and they have made, enough, they want to probably have their last years in the country, especially if they're the only ones and they are no relatives. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? So listen to me carefully. When they come back in those old years, the question is, sometimes they are above retirement, sometimes they can't work again. What will be feeding them? And they don't have many expenses. So let me give you an example. Somebody worked abroad for 30, 40 years, bought 10 houses, maybe for Lagos, let's use on the island or the mainland, rented 10 of them out, collecting maybe 5 million from 10 houses, 50 million a year. Now a 60-year-old man or a 60-year-old woman back in Nigeria earning 50 million in a year. I think that's fair money, right? Now they already have their own house, probably they have a good fuel efficient car, and then they're just able to eat, go out when they like. So it's a measure of guarding the old years. So this is where it comes through. When it comes to things like this, they place cash flow above profit. And this is what many people do not understand. Sometimes people are willing to lose profit to have cash flow to cater for the years where they are not in active service. And they're not stupid. You have to respect their decisions, which is why one of the questions we ask people before they invest in real estate is one single question: why? Why do you want to invest? Right? They know that at some point in time, they're probably going to be weak and they need cash flow. And the truth is that cash flow in that time where you basically cannot do anything is going to be golden for you. I know plenty families like that, plenty old people like that who just live off their investments. They just live off their investments. And I don't think it's I don't think it's not a smart thing to do. So you may lose profit in the present, but you have cash flow for the future. And then the last one, which is the buzz of the now and then, is for investment. Let me be very honest with you. I'm a real estate investment strategist. I sit down with a lot of data to ensure that my clients make profit. We say something jokingly, seriously. We say, if we see that you cannot make profit, we will not make a profit. And many times we've abandoned deals. We've told them we can't go ahead because you said you want to make profit. From our calculations, you're not going to make profit. There are two major things you want to pay attention to if you're investing from the diaspora. The number one is inflation. Number two is the currency devaluation. So if you're in Nigeria, investing in Nigeria, you probably only have business with inflation. But if you're a diaspora investing in Nigeria, you have problem with inflation and devaluation. And so many a times when realtors are advertising, they only cater for one of the factors, which is inflation, but they don't cater for devaluation, right? And what we have seen across the years is that, is it possible to invest in real estate from outside the country and make profits? Yes. Is it hard? Yes. You need somebody who has the knowledge and the ability and the strategy, like me. Let me pitch myself now. Anyways, to be able to help you do that. Now, I'll give you two keys, right, in our basic investment playbook that you have to pay attention to seriously. If you're investing here in Nigeria, location may be your primary focus. But if you are investing from the diaspora, location and time are the things you have to pay attention to. Listen to me carefully. Time is very dangerous for you. I'll give you a very basic example, right? Between January and December 2023, our currency has fallen from this to this. Do you know what that means? That's a lot. So that means if you were able to invest at this point and get it out at March instead of December, you would have saved a whole lot. So that means whoever or however you are investing has to bring time into consideration. If time is not brought into consideration, you can lose a lot of money. And if profit is your primary objective, you can be failing on that side. So that's the first thing. Now, the second thing I want you to pay attention to, like I said, I'll just give you two secrets in our playbook. The second thing is you want to invest in properties that have recreational agendas or recreational activities springing from them. This is something not many people have paid attention to. Let's look at it on a basic scale. Fuel scarcity. When fuel is scarce, the price goes up. Why? Because plenty people are scrambling for a limited resource. Are you with me? So once demand, on a basic economics level, once demand begins to exceed the available supply, the price of what will go up. Listen, what many people don't know is that properties that have recreational activities in them. So let me give you an example. You have a property beside or inside the same estate as a golf course. You have a property inside the same estate as a water park. You have do you understand what I'm saying? Recreational activities, right? You have a property in there. The activities generate consistent demand, and sometimes that demand is even on the rise. So it's not just consistent, it's increasing. Once you have that, that means the demand for the properties in that zone are consistently present and consistently on the rise. Once you can have those two things, the price of your property can be doing magic. I say something jokingly when I'm having conversations with investment clients. I'll tell them, If you invest around the recreational property, you have a gold mine. If you invest, let's just say the estate, your developer is doing something, right? So maybe your property is in the same estate as that recreational property, you have blood money. And for some of you that don't know what blood money is, go and Google it. I can't help you beyond that. Does that make sense, right? So these are 4 reasons why people invest, right? So you cannot just say everybody that is investing, that is participating in real estate from the diaspora is doing that solely to make a profit. And even you in the diaspora, you have to answer the questions. And sometimes we have people in all of these categories. They want to make a statement, they are scared of their old age, they want to mitigate their risk, and they still want to make a profit. So then we have to know which investment is actually channeled towards doing what. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope it made a lot of sense. So if you're in the diaspora, Nigeria is not bad to invest. Investing in your homeland is not bad, but depending on your objective, it can be bad for you, right? I hope that makes a lot of sense, guys. My name is Bolo Kwade, fondly called Realtorzee, and I'm the #1 real estate investment strategist in Lagos here, Nigeria. I help you make the most profit with the least risk in real estate. Perhaps you're interested in investing in an estate that has a recreational property so you can have blood money. Don't worry, I'll initiate you. Send me a message through any of the channels scrolling up or around this video, and I'll be glad to work with you and help you. Thank you so much for listening to this video. Have an amazing day, guys.